Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails is brought to you by Redneck Blinds, Code of Silence Apparel, Hunt Stand Pro Whitetail, Fuse Accessories, Elevate Tree Stands, B3 Releases and Broadheads, and Hoyt. Welcome to Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. Today is November 19th, and we're bringing you an update episode unless something comes out here tonight. We are sitting at the open gate with the east wind. It blows perfectly out into that field behind us. Lots of bedding areas in front of us. There's at least 3, if not 4, really good bedding areas. So the deer can crisscross through here. The bucks, they're in the rut. And if they do happen to want to go to food, we've got that corn behind us with the open gate. My update is going to be pretty easy because you can just go back and watch the daily videos. I've been showing my hunts there, but you've been hunting, Ethan. And you know, what have you been seeing? What have you been doing? It's probably been a week since the viewers have heard from you.
Yep. I've been sticking to doe bedding areas. Really been focusing on morning hunts, trying to catch the deer coming back from food out of bedding. And
so you're still hunting that one buck, right?
Yeah, the flyer buck. He just, it's painful. It was locked down all week.
What was that Moby Dick book where like the guy was chasing after that whale and finally killed him or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Yeah.
Just that flyer buck is your great white whale.
Yeah, he's whooping my butt right now, but we've been staying after him. He's been on camera a few times this week, but the action we saw in the stand was really minimal, and I mean that was kind of to be expected with the lockdown phase, but we still went, put in our time, and you know, we didn't have the most action-packed week ever, but it was still good to be out there chasing him. Was
he showing any daylight activity on camera?
He was in front of the camera right before first legal shooting time, and then he was right after legal shooting time on the 15th and 16th, so he was really, really close.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about it before, and I'm sure we'll talk about it Wednesday on the Whitetail Watch, but this coming week should be good. We got, you know, the does are starting to come out of estrus. They're not coming out, they just are getting bred, so they're no longer in. And that should free up more bucks to be cruising. Cooler temperatures, which I won't fault the temperatures. It's been cool enough.
Yeah, it's just really nice all year.
Yeah, so it's really not it, but at least we're not going to hit a warm spell. So I'm going to talk a little bit more at the end of the episode about what I'm doing, but next let's jump to this hunt that Carson had. Carson Christensen is one of our interns this year. He's from Wisconsin, and he had a good hunt that kind of had a unhappy and then sort of happy ending.
We're back out in the tree here the evening of November 2nd. After getting down this morning, I pulled the trail camera, and there was some really good action on that camera, but like I had said, I just couldn't sit that stand or really even that farm with the wind being out of the southwest. So I changed it up tonight, came into a new spot. I've had a pretty good buck in here that has made a couple daylight appearances within the last few days, which makes me think there's a possibility he could be around tonight. The weather's a little bit warmer than we would like, but it's November, it's the rut, so we can't really complain about the weather. We just have to be in the tree. So that's exactly what we're doing here this afternoon. We're gonna stick it out here for the next 4 hours. We got in nice and early today because you just never know when a buck could come cruising by. I think we'll do a little bit of rattling here this afternoon, see if we can catch a buck on his feet, or interested in another buck that could be coming into his area. So I'm excited to see what the night brings. That was an interesting turn of events there. I was just standing watching for deer, and all of a sudden I caught some movement in the bottom, and sure enough it was that buck that I came in here for. And he was just working that bottom, and I gave him a couple grunts, and then he started to walk this way, and then I lost him behind all this timber. And it was probably another, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, and I started to hear something. Well, he was coming up from behind me, so he must have heard that grunt and circled around behind me and got behind me, and he started just rubbing this tree, making a little scrape, rubbing the tree again, and he was facing right at me, so I figured my best shot for filming wise would be shoot him right there. As I shot, he took another step, and so I hit him back, further back than I wanted to, and then he went up here and stopped about 35 yards. I don't know. Like I said, I just hit him back. So we are definitely going to wait. I don't even know what time it is. Probably 5:30. Yeah, I think we're gonna probably pack our stuff up out of here and call for some help, because we might have to let him sit for a while. I lost blood here for the last half an hour or so. I've looped everywhere I thought it could be. I don't know what to do. The farmer that I talked to didn't want me walking around without blood. So I'm gonna go back to his house and ask him if I can walk one like creek ditch that I think he was headed towards. It's not a lot of woods are left on that side where he was going, so I feel like if he died, there's a good chance he's in that bottom. I just need to hope that he'll let me walk in there for an hour, just sneak up that bottom and hopefully look for that deer. But I talked to the landowner and he did not grant me permission to go look for the deer, so legally I didn't have any other options. Even though I knew this deer was going to be dead in that property, he just didn't want me to go look in there. He said there was a few other hunters in there and ultimately didn't let me go in there. So respectfully, I left my name and number and just said, if you happen to stumble upon this deer, you know, I'd like you to give me a call. And it kind of sucks how everything unfolded, because even though the shot was not perfectly placed, I knew that it was going to be a lethal hit, and it's just unfortunate that I couldn't, you know, do my best ability to find that deer. But I did everything I could legally in that situation, and I guess that's going to wrap up my season here in Iowa.
We need to do this interview real quick. We've got a fawn about 60 yards away and closing. She's out there eating acorns. Probably about an hour of legal shooting time left. And it was good news, bad news for Carson. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to follow that buck and search for it after the blood trail ran out. You know, there are rules within the regs in Iowa of when you can pursue onto private land, but you can't just go randomly searching unless you've got permission. What is that? Is that a squirrel?
Sounds like it, yeah.
We're on edge now. So we got one more update for you. Cody Butler, the last time we saw Cody, he was leaning over a triple drop tine buck that he had just killed in Kansas. And he's still been active. So I'm gonna let him tell you what he's been up to and what his plans are over the next couple of weeks.
How's it going, guys? Hope you're all doing well. November 16th here. Hard to believe that it's been a month since I killed triple drop, and you guys have probably been wondering what in the world I have been doing. Well, it's a number of things. My main job is with Henry Repeating Arms, so this time of year I get really busy. I do most of their video and photography work, and it being the hunting season, we're doing a lot of stuff with our Hunt with a Henry series. So that's what I have been doing. I actually took a trip out to western Nebraska here this last week, and we got our butts whooped out there, guys. Lockdown hit full effect while we were out there, and we were not seeing hardly any deer movement out there whatsoever. And it's a place that has high deer numbers, and we usually see 30 to 40 deer a sit. And this year, I don't know if we saw 30 or 40 deer in the whole 4 days I was out there. That is a little bit further north from where I am and west, and it seems like they're usually a week ahead of us here in south central Nebraska and north central Kansas. So we kind of hit lockdown in full effect out there this year, and it just wasn't very good. But I was able to rush home and drove 4 hours home, got here at about 3 o'clock. I threw my stuff on and decided I was going to go to my home farm because I had some intel that there was a couple really good bucks showing up on a food plot we had down on what we call our state line plot. And I was able to kill the biggest buck that I've killed on our home farm since 2017. I'll show you guys a little bit of footage of that. Was able to kill that deer with a really cool gun, a new cartridge that Henry and Remington worked on together. So pretty exciting, and just exciting to kill a big deer on my home farm again. It's been a struggle there. the last few years, but we did a ton of work this year on the place, planted more food than we ever have, and it really paid off. To kind of let you guys know how the last week of October, first week of November was here in South Central Nebraska, North Central Kansas, from what I can tell from trail cameras and my dad hunting, it was absolutely phenomenal. My dad killed a fantastic buck in Kansas the first week in November, and he saw a ton of mature bucks and movement and just rutting activity in general that last week of October, first week of November. Honestly, some of the best movement we've seen in quite some time, even though it was warm. I took my wife out a couple times as well. We had an encounter with a really great deer. She just hasn't been able to get out a whole lot yet. Hoping to get her on something here late in the season, but we saw just a lot of movement, a lot of chasing, and just a lot of really good rut activity this year. And I'm kind of surprised by that, considering how warm it's been. You know, October we had some really good cold fronts. That's when I was able to kill the triple drop deer. I think it really helped me kill that deer and get him up on his feet in daylight. But here recently, man, it's been warm again. I think lockdown has hit full effect for sure right here now in the last 3 days. My trail camera movement has went down to about nothing. That's why I'm taking some time here trying to move some stuff around, put some cameras in some different places, and try to find a buck for my wife. That's kind of what I've been up to, guys. I hope your season's been going well. Bill killed a great deer, and I think one of the interns killed a great deer here just in the last few days. So things are picking up for them, but things are slowing down here for me. So I'm going to be doing a little more scouting here. Going to get the Hoyt story back out here soon and hopefully do some bow hunting, and I'll keep you guys posted. So God bless, guys, and we'll see you soon. Hopefully next time you see me, I'm up in a stand, coming a full draw on a big deer with that Hoyt story. We'll see you soon, guys. God bless.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Cody comes up with by season end. We've got about just less than an hour of legal time left here. And that fawn's the only thing that's come out so far. Hopefully we'll see some more action we can bring you between here and the end of the episode. So I'll pop back in again. Well, let's wrap up now. And then just let the action flow from here to the end. I'm gonna start focusing on food on the ridge where those, well, I didn't tell you yet, but that 9-pointer, that old deer that I was hunting or was hoping to hunt back in October, and he disappeared. He showed back up. So I've got him and then that 10-pointer. They're both basically in the same area. They should be hitting that corn on top of that ridge, right in the middle of their range. I've been waiting until now, until the wind down of the rut, and I expect this coming week to be really good. I really do. I'll probably hunt a few mornings here and there on close to doe bedding areas, but my focus is going to be the food. We've really seen that over the years, that when the rut plays out, the bucks go to food. They're still looking for the last hot doe, but they spend a lot more time around the food, both eating and looking for does there. So that's my plan. What are you going to do, Ethan?
Hope and pray.
He's given up, folks.
Just same thing, hunt the bedding ridges in the morning and hunt transition areas to food in the evening. I don't have any food on my property, so to speak, like a cornfield or anything, so I'm just gonna have to focus on acorns or stuff like that.
Well, there's some food around you though, right?
Yep, on the neighbors, there's food on both sides.
Well, I mean, that's where they're gonna go.
Yep.
They're gonna find the food. They're wore down. If you think about, you know, how stressful the rut is for a buck, they need food. They need to get back to putting some fat back on and getting some calories big time. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. And then don't forget Wednesday, the Whitetail Watch. And we'll talk more about strategy, you know, more from the behavioral standpoint, what the deer are doing and how we're going to react to that in that episode. So anything that comes out besides this fawn, we're going to tag it on to the end of this episode. Each day that I hunt, I'll post a daily video. So keep checking back for those too. Well, I appreciate you joining us. We'll see you right back here again next week for the next episode of Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. Remember to always dream big.